Okay, well, good morning, everybody. What a pleasure to have you all here. Thank you guys for investing this time. We are here to talk about opportunities on the retrofit of the city's City Hall building. And I know there's some people from out of town. We hope a lot of these dollars stay right here in Salem. But welcome to everybody, regardless of where you're from, and this opportunity today. We have our contractors with us who are going to be looking for obviously their partners in the market, and we're hoping that's a lot of you. Courtney Knox-Bush with the City of Salem does a great job of making sure everybody is aware of the opportunities and will provide clarity, very clear directions on how you can access and view the opportunities that you're going to have at Salem City Hall. And again, please jump on those. Let's keep these dollars right here in Oregon and making sure we're supporting Oregon-based companies here. So on behalf of the Salem Chamber, thank you for taking your time to be here today. For those of you who are members of our organization, we certainly appreciate you. Great to see a number of you here today. And again, let's keep these dollars right here in town. So with that, I am going to turn it over, I believe, with Aaron. Thank you.
Good morning, everybody. So my name is Aaron Kimsey. I'm a city engineer with the City of Salem, and I'm the city's project manager for this project. And I wanted to just briefly give you guys an idea about the project before I hand it off over to Howard S. Wright. So this project is part of the 2022 $300 million bond measure that the Salem voters voted on. Of that, this project is $39.4 million. So that's allocated for the seismic retrofit and system improvements at City Hall or Civic Center. And so just a brief background, we started this project about a year ago. We went through a progressive design build RFQ process, and that's how we came to select Howard S. Wright. So they were one of several proposals that we reviewed and ultimately selected their team. So they've teamed up with Hacker Architects and KPFF Structural Engineers. And so we've been working diligently over the last year to develop our design and go through our programming to get to a point where we are today, where we're getting really close to actually starting the project. So I think they'll probably get into more of the details on the schedule, but more or less our entire staff that's at Civic is going to be moving out of the building. Some of them have already moved out, and the rest will be starting in June, ultimately with the final group moving out in July, so that Howard S. Wright can begin their construction in late July. So with that, I'll hand it off, and then we'll take questions, I'm sure, as we go longer at the end.
Thank you, Aaron. So my name is Todd Smith. I'll be acting as the design manager and the project executive for the Salem Civic project. So we'll start with our introduction to the project. So like Aaron had mentioned, so we partnered with Hacker Architects for this. It's a progressive design build project. This is now, I think, our third project teamed up with Hacker and the City of Salem that we have been able to participate in, and we're looking to really build on that past experience and continue the success that we've had in the past two projects, focusing on quality construction and encouraging and outreach to as much of the local community in this area as we can for these projects. So the project itself is in design right now. We're in the 50% CD process, which is what we're going out to bid for our first bid package, which we'll get to in a little bit later. The building is about 90,000 square feet of office renovation. And then the main focus on the project itself is the seismic upgrades. So part of the bond was to improve the seismic capability of the building. And so there's a large portion in the initial phase that will be focused around shear wall upgrades, roof structure, upgrading the interior steel to really create a long-term seismic capable structure for the city. New roofing, new exterior to upgrade the assembly, and then on the interior side, we'll focus on improving the the functionality and accessibility for the interior space. So moving on from the historic kind of 70s interior design and opening it up to provide improved light and vision throughout the open office spaces, and really that quality of experience that you have in the work environment. And then the last sections that we'll kind of go through. So there's an initial landscaping scope tied to any of the work that's required for the seismic retrofit. And then there's future site improvements that are still in development that'll focus around the Peace Plaza area in between the library and the Civic Center itself. That'll be coming up. So Dan, why don't you go to the next slides? There we go. So some exterior renderings that you'll see. So what we're showing here are two of the key elements. So the first side is the the northeast corner. So that shows one of the new shear walls that's representing kind of one of the significant portions of the seismic upgrade. I think there'll be 8 total shear walls that'll be installed around the perimeter of the building, all cast in place concrete. And then they'll have trellis landscaping that will help cover those areas, and that's similar to what you'll see at the existing library work that was completed a few years ago. So the intent is to keep that theme consistent for both sites. And then you also see the atrium within the Civic Center itself. So that's designed a natural kind of assembly space for the community, and I think the intent is to maintain that space as much as possible. So this portion's a large upgrade to the skylight system, help improve the waterproofing and design, and then there'll also be a photovoltaic component to add skylight or solar glass to a portion of the skylight. And then go on to the next one. Yep, go ahead. 6, yeah. 6 on the building, yep. And then this is some of the future site upgrades. So again, showing the shear walls with the trellis landscaping on the side. So this is now looking at the west elevation, and then the drawing plan view to the left is the Peace Plaza development that's still being worked through on what that future work will look like. But that'll be separate phase from the initial construction project at this point. Where we'll look at some of the site improvements. And then this is where we'll look at some of the interior renderings. So a couple of the key focus areas. So on the left, you'll see the council chambers. So that's improving the functionality of that space. So we'll have a lot of coordination going into the design, keeping as much historical elements as we can, but also focusing on the usability of the space from both a council standpoint and from a flexible usage space. And then on the right is an example of the shared break room. So one of the elements is to try to improve the current workspace for the employees, and in doing that, having a nice open shared break room, and then opening up a lot of the office space and focusing on that natural light, the accessibility and openness of the spaces, and a functional workspace. I think the next slide, then Dan, I'll hand it over to Dan. He'll talk about the bid packages and the scopes of work coming up.
Great. Yes, my name is Dan Weller. I'll be the project manager. I'll walk you through the schedule and kind of bidding process. So we did already bid out the MEP package back in June of 2024, this being a design build effort. So our next bid package is number 2. That's going to focus on the structure. So that'll include demo abatement, concrete, steel, excavation, micropiles, and the skylight as well. That will come out to bid this Friday. There'll be a 3-week bidding period, and there'll be a site walk offered as well. A lot of this information is on the handout provided in front of you, so don't feel like you need to take all the notes. Most of it should be there. The third bid package will be for the remaining scope, which will be mostly the interiors. I'm not going to go through all of those, but that will come out in approximately a month from now. We'll go, and then construction, as Aaron mentioned, July this year start, and approximately an 18-month schedule going to the beginning of 2027. Okay, so just kind of breaking it down a little bit further. Obviously, structure is a pretty large component to the project. So we'll start out with demo in July. Structure will follow right behind it. Be complete May of next year, and that will allow us to kind of kick off the interiors and kind of the exterior skin and site work portions. We'll go next. Okay, a little bit about kind of bidding information. We do submit our bids out through Building Connected. If you've got bids from us, we'll have you on this list. If you're new to us, please reach out. My contact info is on that handout, as well as we'll be publishing this through various exchange groups. One thing we do ask, we do have a pre-qualification process. What this is just kind of some basic company information from you to allow us to kind of, especially if we hadn't worked together before, get to know you, just some of the basics about your company, and just avoid any snags and potentially getting awarded the contract. And that is through, that's just an online platform, and that will be included with the bid invite. Okay, a few more fun ones to touch on. Insurance, $2 million, general liability, kind of pretty standard stuff, I think, for the state. Bonding requirements, so any contracts over $500,000, we do ask contact with your surety or bonding agent if you're over $250,000. And then there is some special cases where we might require a bond, depending on the scope of work. We are signatory to the carpenters, laborers, and cement finishers unions. So if your company works in those fields, please reach out. There are some certain requirements that we need to meet. So if you're curious on that, please reach out to me. And then this is a public works project, so it will be prevailing wage rates, certified payroll required for the project. All right, and I think that's all we have. So we'll open up for questions. And we are recording this, so if you do have a question, we'll hand you the mic. So.
Yeah, good morning. Okay, so are the tiered subs also required to pre-qualify, or the subs can hire tier subcontractors after the hour of the contract, whatever?
Yeah, I think at least for us, sub-tiers won't have to pre-qualify. So as long as the prime, as a subcontractor that you're working with is pre-qualified, then that would be sufficient. Yep. Yep.
You mentioned that the site work upgrades was going to come later. Is that still going to come inside of that contract window, or is that going to come after that closeout of the whole project?
That's a group question. I think right now it's still planned to be within our current contract, but the overall design, and I think is there additional bonding funding for it? Okay, so the overall design I think is still in progress on what what ties into the existing water fountain area and kind of that whole plaza area. So I think that's still being developed, but I think the intent that it would fall under our current contract schedule.
Yeah. So the slide that they showed represented something that's more expensive than we can afford, and so that's why we're working on developing a design. I think ultimately we're going to have their team come up with like the final plan for that area, and then we're going to have to extract out of that something smaller that we can attain at this time with the current funding levels that we have. We are trying to seek additional funding through grants, or potentially if there's savings on this project, then we could roll out maybe something more, but it's kind of TBD. So we'll do something with this contract, but it may not be as large as what they showed on the slide. Does that make sense?
So that will be in this first bid package. Second bid package in June. So there'll be some base scope, but maybe that's half of what the full package could be.
Any other questions? Okay. If not, I think Dan and I have some time to hang around. So if anyone wants to ask in-person questions or get any more information about the project, feel free to stop by.
Hey, well, thank you all for being here this morning. Hopefully you got some great information about the seismic retrofit at the Salem Civic Center. Wanted to take a quick moment and just bring up Jackie Roche. She's our membership manager. And then after that, we'll have some time to network, grab another donut and some coffee. And if you have any other questions, feel free to come on up and try to get those answers. Thank you very much.
Good morning. I'm Jackie Roche, membership manager at Salem Chamber. I know some of you. Thank you for coming. For those of you who have not been to the Salem Chamber or don't know exactly all of what we do and how we support specifically your industry, I would love to have a chance to connect with you, give you the full scope of what the work is that we do here and how your membership helps provide keeping those profits in your pocket, which is wonderful. And then Jameson, I know, is welcome anytime if you want to learn more about the business advocacy work that he does since he is the director. I would love to have a chance to chat with you guys. Thank you.
All right, let's give a round of applause for our presenters this morning. And have a great rest of your day. We'll see you next time.